Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2019. We're into that first episode of Post NCAA March Madness men's and women's tournaments now in the books. The last game, the men's final, has been played, so we'll talk briefly about that, but not too much longer. And we are back to full-on focus of just this series. And speaking of this series, we are late season right now, and even though we have had a great season thus far, we've still got our work cut out for us to wrap this season up. Automatic promotion is obviously the first and main goal until we really get good enough to start competing for a national championship, and we're not quite to that level yet, though. This is a great team we've got right now, but I don't think we're there yet, even though we are ranked number 9 in the country right now with a 22-3 record, which is just phenomenal. Outside of the first and third team in the country, we've got the best record. I mean, it's crazy. We're still only 10-2 in conference, and Pitt and St. Joe's are both 9-3, and Hawaii is 8-4. So we've only got a 2-game cushion over fourth place. Remember, the top 3 teams get that automatic promotion out of F into E, and for that, we've still got to take care of business here. We got 4 games left to play, and next up is Tulsa. Tulsa 5-7 in conference, but 12-12 on the season. It is a road game, so nothing is going to be easy in this game coming up. But with tournament stuff coming up, I want to be able to get tournament games as the main focus. So we're just going to go ahead and sim right through this game and these final 4, but we'll keep that close eye on to make sure we get the job done, because losses certainly could be coming, and if they do, that automatic promotion will certainly be in jeopardy. 22 wins on the season so far is an amazing achievement, and we do get the win there to go at 23-2. 20 points, 97-77 on the road at Tulsa. We were up 12 at half. We continue to stretch that lead. A couple lead changes, but never tied. So the largest lead was 3. I'm assuming that means Tulsa started the game with a 3-pointer. And then once we took the lead, just after that, presumably 4-3, or could have been a different score than that. It was never tied. So, either 4-3 or 5-3, and then that was it. We never trailed again. Points in the paint was actually pretty close. In fact, all of these were close. Jefferson, though, 26 points and 9 rebounds. Huge game for him. Let's see. King had 16 and 13, so another strong double-double performance for him. Finger had 18 points. Those guys were the big on the plus side. Watkins, though, always quietly a strong contributor. He had 9 assists in this game. Just 5 points, though, but he is the top guy in the conference when it comes to steals. So if we look here, steals per game, he's half a steal above second place. Also standing out, he's not there now. A game ago, I think Jefferson was right on the edge of this in 5th place. Here's King sliding his way slowly up the rebounds. Remember, he did miss some games early, but he played a few minutes. Here's Watkins in the assist column. So we're not completely dominating single player. This is very much team effort kind of stuff. We still have Jason Washington with a sore wrist. Or we do have Jason Washington. That's a new one that I've actually missed. Sore wrist for 7 days. That shouldn't affect him too much, but affect him somewhat. That leaves 3 games to go. Let's go ahead and get the next one. It's going to be against the Gamecocks, South Carolina. We are playing at home for that one. If we can get that win, that's going to be pretty dang close to getting that automatic promotion. We'll have to take a look at the standings after that game and see what, if anything, has changed, or whether everybody won out or not. Conference tournament coming up. Of course, my goal with as strong as the team is this season, I very much would like to get the conference tournament win so we can add our second banner to the team since we've started the series. More importantly, this season, I'd like to make a little bit of a run in the NCAA tournament. I'd love to see us get through the first couple of rounds, get to the Sweet 16. Not sure if we'll get further than that. I know we are ranked number 9, but realistically, I don't see us as the 9th best team in the country. I was saying this in the last episode, so if you saw the last episode, I kind of get the justification behind that. But for those who are kind of jumping in on this episode, we're as high as we are because of our record. Our record, well, we've had 4 or 5 really tough teams this season that we've played against, and that was a win, by the way. So we are 12-2 in conference now, 24-3 on the season, 85-66. So again, just about 20 points. Let's see, Granberry -2. Rough day for him. 4 fouls, just 1 of 5 shooting. King though, 19 points, 18 rebounds. Oh wow, 8 of those offensive. Dang. Jefferson, 15 points. Watkins had 15. Big day for him. He doesn't get 10 plus very often. Only a +1 though. 4 steals for King to go with it. Watkins, again, 3 steals. Rick Scott, 10 points off the bench. Nicely done, guys. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and finish the week out, and then we'll look at the standings here. Washington should be back to full strength shortly. Anyway, I don't see us as 9th best. We're there because of our record, but our record is partially that good because we are in Conference F. If we were in Conference A or Conference B or even C or D, competition level would be that much higher, and our record wouldn't be what it is if we were playing the tougher teams. We're not so far beyond our conference. We are 12-2. There are still teams that are right on our tail in the conference. We're the best in Conference F right now, according to the standings. St. Joe's now the only one game behind. Pittsburgh is 2 games behind at 10-4. And with 2 games left to play, Hawaii is now out of reach. We lose both games, they win both games, so we are still clear of 4th place. So, as we now move up to number 7 in the country, as we continue to get these wins, that now ensures that next season we will be competing at the highest level we've ever reached, which will be Conference E. Quick glance at who is in Conference E right now. UNLV, who did they win a championship a couple of years back? Auburn, Mississippi, but other than that, no rankings here. That is surprising. There's St. John's, Wichita State, Wisconsin. So we're starting to get into some elite teams. Here is your new national champion, Virginia Cavaliers, UMass, Missouri. These are definitely on the edge big names. These are teams that are regularly in real life in the tournament, have an impact, and that's going to be challenging. I mean, we look at that RPI, and most of the conference is inside the top 100. Conference D, you start getting into definite elite teams. I'm expecting to see a lot of Power 5 teams that don't necessarily win the conference, but are always close, and let's see if that's true. Cal is one of those, Arkansas, LSU, Iowa State, sure enough, Florida State, UW, Northwestern, Nebraska, Colorado, Oregon State. So yes, littered with a bunch of those good Power 5 teams, but the ones that are just not quite there. And then you get some of the really big mid-majors. Conference C. Now we're starting to get into lots of ranked teams. And then, of course, Conference B and A are the ones that are truly dominant. These are the ones that are competing for the national championship. But because they beat each other up, a lot of these teams don't end up making the tournament. And that's where things kind of filter down a little bit. And we benefit from that. So, I think we should be good enough to at least get through the first round this year. It was sad to see us have a nice ranking last year and go down. But of course we were without our star, Clint King. So 2 games to play, and nothing necessarily to play for other than bragging rights of the best overall season record. So we'll just quick sim here, and Georgia is the next one. They are 12-13 on the season. And I believe we already beat them once on the road. It's also a chance to bag win number 25, which would be the first time I've done it in this series. The original, the 2017 series, I think we did that once or twice. In the end, I think the best win total the program's ever had, dating back to the original series, is 26. We could easily beat that this year. We could beat that or match that by the end of the regular season. 25-3. Fresno State next. The Bulldogs just 12-14. They're struggling a bit this year. I know in my other active series from Draft Day Sports, the college football one, play in the same conference as Fresno State, Mountain West, and they are a perennial top 25 program, and we always have our handful playing against them. Though I'm only into, season 3 in that series. We should have a good chance in this one, but it's a road game. Right now, a little shakeup in the national rankings. Michigan State has gone to the tops, and I actually now have the best record in the nation. had, because Fresno State just won that game. We are 25-4. So our final regular season record, 25-4, 13-3 in conference. We'll see. I still had that one team. I believe that was Pittsburgh. Maybe? Was it Pitt? That was just a single game behind us entering this last 2-game set. So if they won both, we would be level on record. So I actually might not even be the 1 seed coming out of the conference. Take a look at that there. But that also brings me back down to the Michigan State, Gonzaga, North Carolina State, and myself records with 4 losses each, and I actually still move up in ranking to number 6, just because of how few losses we have ultimately. Presumably, anyway, I guess. And let's see. Nope, they took a loss as well. So, I think St. Joe's won. Oh, no, it was St. Joe's. Pitt won both of their games. St. Joe's lost that final game just like we did. Pittsburgh right on the edge of being ranked number 23 there in RPI. See, our number of teams in the top 100 is a bit more limited. Now we have got a lot of teams just outside of it, top 150. But that's why I don't presume being ranked number 6 in the nation and potentially having, mathematically a 2 seed at this point. I'd be almost surprised if we get that, but, a 3 or 4 seed is entirely plausible. That could give us a good pathway to get to the Sweet 16. Past that, though, again, I don't have expectations. But we've got 2 tournaments left to play here. Guaranteed 25-4, even if we lose the very next game. If we lose our first round of the conference tournament. Technically it's the second round, but even then, we're still on our way to the NCAA tournament with this record. So that's secure. So we've got 2 tournaments to play here. Love to win both. Anybody would. But let's be realistic. Conference tournament, absolutely winnable. I will be disappointed if we don't win it. I'm not mountains beyond everyone else. I haven't ascended that high. We're good. We're better than them. We should win it. But that doesn't mean we're going to crush the competition. We are beatable. We've lost 3 games in conference. I believe they were all on the road, weren't they? Let's take a glance. No, 1 home game. So 17-1 at home, 8-3 on the road. Everybody's taking some road loss, but you can see that. Look at the home records. I mean, all the way down to the Blazers here, 6th place in conference, 2 or fewer losses at home. Even Fresno, there you go, Fresno State, 11-2 at home. So that's the team that just beat us. They just happen to be 2-12 on the road. See, I'll never forget the first collegiate or professional sporting event that I ever attended was a Fresno State versus Stanford football game. I don't know, 6, 7 years old. A long, long time ago. I happened to live in Fresno for a little while when I was that age. So obviously next up will be that conference tournament. We've got that first round bye. Four teams already out, eliminated, relegated. 12 remain. What have we got? Okay. Big news coming up here. We have the Norton Player of the Year Awards. Greg Roberts, the center at Arizona, is the favorite right now in the finalists. But players declared for draft, this is a big one. So far, we've been able to avoid Clint King, who I thought for sure, as a freshman, was going to declare for the draft and be a first-round pick. And then he didn't go. He was injured, but he didn't go. And here he is. Well, no, wait, freshman year? No, he just didn't go. It was sophomore year. Where I, again, thought, but now as a junior, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, thank you. So we get our team back. We get our team back for next season other than the seniors that are leaving us. And there are some, but we've got a really good recruiting class coming in here. And I have high hopes again for next season. But of course, every time we move up a division, we are hitting a new echelon of teams that are better than what we're facing now. All right, so here we go. First round, Tulane, Illinois. The Blazers hosting Penn State. Marshall hosting Minnesota. And Fresno State hosting South Carolina. Of course, it's all neutral hosting site. And we'll quickly click back. So Illinois upsetting Tulane. Penn State upsetting Alabama, Birmingham. Marshall does prevail over Minnesota, and South Carolina upsetting Fresno State. So 3 upsets in the first round of the tournament there. And we're going to get South Carolina up next. We've already easily beaten them. I'm not even going to check out the scouting report. They're just 12-16, and we beat them by quite a bit. So let's quick sim this day. Let's hope we get the job done. Take care of business, guys. And we do 26-4 now into the conference semifinals. That's 88-71 for the final. We only led by 1 at half, but 16-point halftime or second half performance, and we double them up on points in the paint, second chance points, just about, and fast break, triple them, and they never led by more than 4. Watkins, player of the game, was 16 and 6 and 4 steals for him. Defensive performance on that one. You can see the starting 5, all double digits on the plus minus, all double digits in scoring. Clint King just squeezing into the double-double territory with 10 boards. 7 of 11 shooting, so good shot selection. You can see pretty much everybody shooting well. Jefferson 5 of 12, but and here we have Marshall upsetting Pitt. St. Joe's prevailing over Penn State, and Illinois again upsetting. This time upsetting the 4th seed Hawaii, and that's who we're going to get. So we've actually got a pretty favorable matchup again here in the conference semifinal with St. Joe's and Marshall going for it there. That's a bit more competitive. St. Joe's, if they win out, right? That's our top competitor, and that's the game we'll watch. Again, I think we're strong enough to take Illinois pretty easily. So let's go ahead and go one more game. Let's hope I don't shoot myself in the foot on this one. I do not. 27-4, and it's St. Joe's. We'll get in the final 79-65. Victorious there. We were up at half. We stretched it a little bit further. We led almost the entire game. Their biggest lead was 2 points. Points in the paint. Not a serious advantage, but definitely an advantage. We didn't get as many second chance points, but they only had 1. Granberry had 16 and 14. Huge day for him. He's been quiet for a little while, so that's a good bounce back. Only 7 boards for Clint King and only 22 minutes played. Boy, were we resting him? Was he tired? 13 and 10 for Jefferson. Watkins, 12. Only 1 steal today. Still had 6 assists, though. Jared Finger, no assists. You're a point guard. Point guard. 0 assists. Seriously? All right, here's the one that's going to count, and we've got St. Joe's. 20-9, 58% favorite, so not massively a favorite. Again, we're playing on neutral territory, so no home court advantage or anything like that. And based off of that, they've got an advantage at center. We are equal at point guard. We are equal off the bench, but otherwise, we've got a 3-1 advantage on matchups. Let's go ahead and get into it. Again, this is a chance at our second conference championship. Win or lose, we are definitely heading to the NCAA tournament, which of course in real life just wrapped up, and this makes for a good time to talk about that here during the first part of this game. We'll let this play through quickly as that goes. We'll keep an eye on the score for the most part. So, the real life tournament championship game, Texas Tech losing out to Virginia in overtime. It did go largely as predicted. I made the assumption that depending on if the refs called the game a little bit tighter, if they called it more like a normal game instead of just swallowing their whistle and letting it play. And by the way, we were leading 14-1. It's now 14-2. So both of their points coming from the free throw line. And actually, again, most of those points coming from the free throw line, but they are getting a little bit closer here and have some momentum. This would be a good time to use that timeout before they actually close us down. Oh, and a three-pointer there. So our timeout leads to their three-pointer. We finally do get one of our own, though. Anyway, game was called a little bit tighter. Texas Tech weren't. They were still stifling in their defense. I mean, that's their style, and there's nothing wrong with that style. In fact, I prefer that style. I coach basketball, boys and girls, and I prefer my teams to play that way. A stifling defense is absolutely the way to go, especially at the level that I coach at. And now we're trailing. Really, we've gone that cold. We were up 14-1, and then we trailed 20-18. So that's a 19-4 run that they went on and have actually kind of continued here. So wake up, guys. Wake up. 29-20 now. So that's a 28-6 run that the Hawks are on here. Rebounding, we're minus 10 right now. We're shooting 25% from the field. 0 for 9. 0 for 9 beyond the arc. Yeah. 11-point deficit at the half. Again, it was 14-1. 14. That's a 32-8 run to end the half. You can't get more ice cold than that, can you? Anyway, so Texas Tech, their defense certainly frustrated Virginia at times, and that's what kept them in the game. That's what kept it a game, even at all. At times, Virginia looked much, much, much better than Texas Tech, but then the defense would force Virginia into some bad shots, and then they'd kind of break their rhythm, and they'd go through, wow, we're down 15. Seriously. There's my last 30-second timeout already. It's ridiculous. We are playing awful. We still have not made a three-pointer. We're still just 25% from the field. All we have to do is make a couple shots, and we would not only catch up, but we'd be ahead by a ton. We are shooting just horribly in this game. And look at that. We make 2 shots, and all of a sudden we're already back down to a 7-point game. Anyway, so that defense did its job, and it set them up to stay close. It set them up to get Virginia taking bad shots for stretches of time. And at those times, when that would happen, Texas Tech would just go out and drain one good look. They'd get Virginia off their game and get them on their heels, and they'd get one wide open shot and drain it. And all of a sudden, they'd go on this little run, and they'd be right back in the game. And that was kind of the story of the game throughout. And Texas Tech went on one of those little runs late on to get back in that game, and then all of a sudden, next thing we know, we're at overtime, and then Virginia just finally comes out and 5 seconds. Ah! I thought we had plenty of time left. I wasn't looking very close. We just lost by 1. St. Joe's is your conference champion. Really, I still got the timeout in, and I had no timeouts left, so nothing would have changed. But our shooting percentage started to come up, but it still only ended at 35%. So we were minus 12 on rebounds. We were plus 13 on turnovers, but we just shot the ball horribly in that game, and that is why we lost. I mean, Granberry was 2 for 10. Jefferson was 2 for 10. None of our bench players shot well. Rick Scott was 3 for 8. That was okay. Finger was 3 for 10. Watkins and King were the only ones, but King only attempted 4 shots. Really? He only had 4 rebounds. Really? Bunch of players with 4 fouls. So, Finger, King, Jefferson, I don't know what their minutes were like, but that was appalling how poor we were in that game, and we still nearly came back and won it, but we just couldn't make our shots. I don't know if that was shot selection. I don't know if that was St. Joe's defense. We weren't turning the ball over, so it doesn't seem like their defense was particularly threatening. We pick up 10 points in the second half, but we were just terrible. I mean, it was 14-1, and then we just went ice cold and didn't make but a couple shots the rest of the half, and it continued well into the second half. We finally woke up from the slumber and lost by 1 point. And there's an injured player. 2 injured players, actually. Wynn, sore calf, 3 days. Watkins, strained abdominal, 8 days. I think they'll both be okay in time for the tournament. Let's not waste any time. We've got a tournament to get to, so let's sit out the week here. We'll go straight to the tournament selection. So no conference championship this year, but we at least made it to the final. But again, like I said, I would be disappointed if we did not go on to win the conference, and we did not. So that was ultimately disappointing. But to wrap up the talk about the tournament, like I said, Virginia in overtime was just much too much, especially with Owens fouled out late in the fourth. He was such a presence, and I have no idea how that guy even got to play. And I don't mean that in a bad way. If you saw the injury in the semifinal, holy crap, that guy, I don't know how he did not shatter his ankle when he went down and rolled over the foot of his teammate. That was just insane that he did not break his foot or his ankle or his leg. Yeah. All right. Playing games here. Georgia State, Florida State. And on to the first seed. Gonzaga gets the first seed. That's one of our losses this season, was to them. North Carolina's the 2 seed. This is the Philadelphia region. And Louisville's the 3 seed. Mississippi State 4. There's Tulane. And St. Joe's, with the automatic bid, gets in. They get a 9 seed. Here we go. Columbus region. Michigan State, Kentucky, and Syracuse. And then Cincinnati rounds out the top 4 seeds in that one. Now with that loss, it could bump us down a little bit for all I know. I would think we'd be somewhere around a 3 or 4 seed. Maybe a 5. San Antonio region. North Carolina State gets the 1 seed here. UCLA, a 2 seed. Indiana. And there you go, a 4 seed. Okay, a 4 seed. And I don't know who that is. I have no idea who we're playing against in this first round. Let's see. Long Beach State. Okay, Long Beach State. Yeah, sure, I know who that is, of course. Everyone's always looking for the big upset in round 1. Well, this isn't it. Olympic Decathlon is a lock in this game. So early analysis says we should win the first game comfortably. UNLV and a play-in. Okay. That could be a interesting. That could be an interesting second round game. Definitely not a lock. There's Villanova, recent real life champion, Arizona State, Cal, Western Kentucky, Oklahoma State, and Pitt. Okay, the last region, it's Duke, Florida, and Alabama. Finally, Texas as those top 4 seeds. We're already down to Watkins. And we'll move forward a day and it'll start giving us matchup info. So our final ranking here at the end of the season is 6th, which is awesome. But I told you, that mathematically should have us a lock as a 2 seed, but they had us as a 4 seed. I think that's more where we belong, is a 4 seed, especially losing the conference tournament, for one thing. UNLV, potential second round match there. They are 20th at 23-9. NIT, Minnesota over Lafayette. Got 2 NIT and a CIT game. Hawaii just beating New Mexico. Marshall losing by 1 to Nichols. And Illinois over Georgia Southern. Aren't they in my conference, or were they in the conference last year? Minnesota's next round is against Creighton. Here's the Blazers taking on Drake in the CBI. Minnesota's out, and so is Alabama Birmingham. And finally, the NCAA tournament gets underway. First round, Tulane, 13 seed, taking on Mississippi State. St. Joe's, 9 seed, taking on Miami. It's going to be a difficult game for both of them. Hawaii in the NIT against BYU. And Wofford taking on Illinois. I could see all of these being losses. Illinois maybe getting through. And we should be tomorrow, which means Watkins is going to have 1 day left on that injury, so he should be playing. Hopefully he'll be back at 85-90%. But that does create at least some challenge for this game coming up. Tulane down. St. Joe's upset. Okay, they beat Miami. I really didn't think they would be strong enough to do that, but they won. And Hawaii beating BYU. Nicely done. And Illinois does get the win there, so 3 out of 4 come up victorious. So we've got Long Beach State coming up here. We'll look at the scouting report before we head into the game. And actually, based on time, depending on the scouting report, how favorable it is, we might have to move straight to the second round. And then Pitt is going to get Oklahoma State. So they got in as well. So we got quite a few teams into the tournament. Postseason tournament. Here we go. Scouting report, yes. Heavily favored, 71%. We've got 3 advantages, 1 equal. We do have 1 disadvantage, but again, Finger is there for his defense, not his offense, even though he does manage to get 11 points. And I'm going to put a little faith in my team here. A little bit of faith. Here's some team leader stats in the conference. You can see we are 3rd best in scoring. We are best in the conference in rebounding by 3 per game. Steals, we're 1.5 better than anybody else. And let's hope my faith in the team in this first round does not go unfounded. We're going to skip to the second round. Come on, guys. Come on. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. 98-88 in the first round. Oklahoma State beats Pittsburgh, so they're out of the tournament. Got the job done. They came back on us a bit in the first half. In fact, we led by 25. In the end, we only finished winning by 10. Points in the paint, real advantage, as is normal for us. And Watkins, coming off his injury, the last day of that injury, put up really solid numbers. 22 and 8 plus his 3 steals. His customary 3 steals. That's pretty typical for him. Clint King had 4 blocks. He only had 9 rebounds. Didn't get the double-double, but still, that's a good day at 15 and 9. Granberry, 13 and 7. We had 10 and 8 from Jefferson, so those guys all kind of equaling out the majority of the rebounds. 21 points for Finger, and again, a 0 assist performance. So weird to have a point guard not be able to produce any assists whatsoever. Bench really struggled. The offense got the job done. So I don't know if that was the final couple minutes where they really came back on us and made the game look closer than it actually was. Could be the case. Alright, so St. Joe's gets through, and now they've got to play Gonzaga, the same team that crushed us earlier in the season, our only loss in the non-conference part of the season. It is UNLV, and they didn't lose by much, 13. So, UNLV, Conference E, which is where we're headed next season. They are 24-9 on the year. So, we're 4 games better overall than they are. We are higher in the rankings. They're only 1 conference above us. And so, yes, we do have a pretty dang good chance in this game. We actually have a better chance in this game than we had in the last one, which means, do I put my faith in, again, that the team's going to get the win so that we can still get another game in before the end of the episode as we move on to the Sweet 16, playing whoever the 1 seed is in our region, which I've already lost track of who that was. Was it Duke? I think I need to. 78%, right? Watkins, Granberry, King, Jefferson, all with an advantage. My bench has an advantage over them, even though their bench gets 37 points a game. Really? Okay. Wow, look at that. 2 seniors and then 3 underclassmen in their starting 5. Time for a little faith. I wasn't planning on simming this game and skipping through, but I thought UNLV was going to be a much tougher matchup for us. But am I proved? Oh, come on. 80% chance. I had every intention of watching this game until I saw that we had an 80% chance of winning this game. And we lose this game. Ah, crap. Well, that was disappointing. Sorry. Jeez. Put my faith in the team and it, Jefferson went down injured. Yeah, he only played 22 minutes. King only played 19. What the heck happened there? Foul trouble? Yeah, 4 fouls. So there you go. They both had 4 fouls, and King got hurt, and Rick Scott had 4 fouls. Hunter had to play 8 minutes, so we went way, way down to the end of the bench. So foul trouble looks to be the reason why we lost this game. That and the fact that they shot 50%, we shot 38%. So again, like the conference championship, it came down to shooting and also the foul trouble. King had 18 points and 9 boards despite only playing 19 minutes. But yeah, they were sorely missed. Granberry, just 2 points in the game. 2 of 6 from the line, 0 for 4 from the field. That was pitiful. No wonder he was a minus 17. So we throw up a real stinker in the second round. And out we go. Thought for sure. Once I saw the scouting report anyway, I thought for sure we were going to be through. Now, I've got literally seconds left. No, I want... Oh, come on. There we go. Let's go quick sim. Try to keep an eye on the tournament. We'll see what happened from there. UNLV, what they can do, and already that's a big sign. So that'll be kind of a talking point as we wrap things up here. UNLV is just one division above us. I had an 80% chance of beating them, so apparently I should have been good enough to win that game and still be good at that next level. But again, every level you rise at this point gets that much tougher. Now that we're up to kind of that higher level. I mean, this is going to put us into Division 5. So if we're counting real life and the Power 5 conferences, which of course college basketball goes deeper than that, but it gets so much attention in the college football world, Power 5 conferences, this will put us into that. So division rank is coming up. I was really hoping to get a boost to the team prestige this season. And I don't know, losing the conference tournament and losing in the second round, even though we're ranked number 6 in the nation, even though we got 28 wins this year, I don't know. Duke got through, so if I was right on it being Duke, let's see, which region were we in? San Antonio? Yeah, UNLV with the win here. UNLV, oh, no. It was North Carolina State. Okay, and Oklahoma State upset them. Wow. In the 1-8 matchup. Crazy. That was the team that beat Pitt by 2. Oklahoma State beats UNLV and then beats Indiana. So Oklahoma State, an 8 seed, into the Final Four. And they upset Duke as well. So they took down 2 number 1 seeds. And then that was the only 1 seed left. So then you got North Carolina and Cincinnati in the other Final Four matchup. And in the national championship, absolutely just manhandling them. 91-68. North Carolina wins the NCAA tournament here in the 2023-2024 season. And that's all the time we've got for this one. Now, this time around, I'm going to push forward a little bit more than I have in recent seasons. Let's see, what am I losing senior-wise? 4 players, but Jared Fingers heading out, and that's okay. He wasn't great offensively. That 0 assists per game was terrible. His defense was good, so I'll miss that more than anything. Watkins, though, we'll miss his production as well. So both of the backcourt members are leaving us. Lofton off the bench, not a big loss there, and Jefferson. So actually, that's 3 starters that are heading out. We've got 4 really good recruits coming in, but maybe we won't be the same team next season. I don't think we're facing any sort of rubber banding relegation crisis, but we might not be looking at the same team a year from now. Now, what about the juniors? Dixon, that's a walk-on. Washington, though, he'll be a senior. He should be able to step up and be pretty good in place of Watkins. Trico, that's another walk-on. But Granberry will be a senior. Clint King will be a senior. And Rick Scott, the other transfer besides Washington, JC transfers that we had coming in, and then Jamal Hunter, who is the primary backup to Jefferson. So, that's, 5 players heading out. 5. Plus 2 walk-ons. So 7 players in all will be seniors next year. Wow. Well, that's a recruit for every position that we'll be looking at. And yeah. Next season, we're going to have high hopes again, but I don't think we'll be quite as good. So we might be in a rebuilding pattern here in the very, very near future, especially a year after now, unless some of these recruits coming in right away are really able to produce. Emery hopes aren't quite as high there, but if Russell or Lockwood, if either of them are good enough to step in and start right away, or Fleming for that matter, as we're going to be down to Hunter as the backup. Hampton redshirting this season has high potential, but I don't know how well he'll develop. That's one thing that's still a bit of an issue for me because the overall team prestige isn't that high, and therefore the coaching staff that I'm able to recruit isn't that great. Our facilities are a B, which isn't bad, but I don't see a lot of development. I mean, if we look, like say Clint King, he came in outstanding. But when we look at that ratings progression, he's gotten worse in scoring and passing and handling. His offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding is slightly improved. Shot blocking is still worse than where he was as a freshman. Stealing and defense only slightly better. So my players, for the most part, how they come in is how they go out. And I don't see a whole lot of... Well, Rick Scott, that doesn't count. But there you go. See, Donnie Jefferson's a good example of someone who actually has developed 4 years. 5 years, actually, because of the redshirting. Here's Hunter. But, of course, he's only been with us this year, so he did develop coming in. See if he develops again. But Hampton barely improved. Finger did well. So, Eric Wynn. So maybe we're getting better on that. I did bring in some better coaching staff. So hopefully, here's to hoping that we actually do progress a lot throughout the quality of players. But that's going to do it for this episode, this season of Decathlon Gamer. Remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.